Hey guys, hope you're well. Today I've got some cheeky Battlefield 1 gameplay for you and some news/discussion. This was a really nice round on Soissons using the Gewehr 95 Infantry, my favourite I reckon on the Scout class. If your aim is on point, you can just go ham with this thing, and surprisingly this match I wasn't being killed repeatedly by planes, which makes a nice change on this map, as that's usually the case. Loads of stuff to cover today, so let's get stuck in. Battlefest is coming up apparently on March 30th. The description reads as follows: keep your eyes open, we'll unleash the DICE 25th anniversary Battlefest filled with giveaways, missions and a few surprises for our fans. No idea what those surprises are, but it's always fun to speculate. And also a few DICE developers that I follow on Twitter have highlighted that a few surprises part, so could be something big coming, who knows. DLC maps for free for everyone? Yeah, probably not. But as it happens, if you don't have premium, you can actually spectate matches on premium maps when the They Shall Not Pass DLC goes live for everyone else on the 28th of March. Interesting, that one. I suppose even if you don't have premium, you'll have to download the content of the maps anyway in the patch, and then you can spectate on them but not play them yourself until you get the DLC or premium. It's a cool feature, but realistically, who's going to actually do that? I suppose it's been set up as an incentive to try and get non-premium users to spectate a game on DLC, go, whoa, how cool does that look, and buy it themselves, but I don't think that will work in all honesty. And this brings me on nicely to what I mainly wanted to talk about today, the DLC model of BF1 again, and how it will and is already hurting the longevity of the game. In Battlefield 3, 4, Hardline and also Battlefront, I'm including that one, all of those games had premium or season pass models, where the main additional map packs come at an extra cost to the player. Now in my experience, I've played a lot of those games, and across all of them, the DLC was popular for roughly a month after launch, and then it just gets really hard to find active quick play games or servers running those DLC maps. And that's a really big shame, because a lot of those maps in the DLC packs are usually very good and offer something different than the vanilla game, and also have unique game modes in them that you don't get in the vanilla game, and you miss out on them after a while. In BF1 already, 2 weeks after They Shall Not Pass has launched on PC for premium members, I'm having problems finding quick play games and servers which are populated running the DLC. It's not like I can't find a game at all. Eventually, if I wait long enough or skim through the server browser, right now, yeah, I can find a game. Sometimes I go straight into a game when I hit quick play, but other times on Operations, in particular on the new DLC already, it happens quite frequently where it will put me into an empty match. And I know that I'm not the only one that this is happening to. I find tweets about this, posts on Reddit quite frequently, with this happening to other players. It could be a problem with the matchmaker, yes, but I think it's primarily down to player population, and it's just another early warning sign, the fact that DLC Battlefield maps are still not free for all users, and I think that's ridiculous and a big shame. I quite like the maps in the They Shall Not Pass DLC. I think they're good, varied maps. Fort Vaux and Verdun, particular favourites of mine being infantry only, and with how it's going at the moment, a month after release, I bet that I won't be able to find games on those maps soon. The same thing happened in BF4, Hardline and Battlefront with all of the DLCs. Not so much in BF3, because I think more people bought into the premium model back then, and each DLC there definitely had its own theme and draw for the players. But it feels like with BF1, DICE and EA are repeating mistakes of the past here, splitting the community up 5 months after launch and stifling the longevity of the game. And we've called for this so much as a community, free maps in DLC packs, and it's something that I've personally championed quite hard behind the scenes, but we never seem to get it. And charging for those maps does nothing good for the overall player base. Other modern shooters have free maps across the board now. Halo 5, Titanfall 2, Rainbow Six Siege, and there's loads of other smaller shooters that do free maps. And they monetize in other ways with guns, skins, accessories, customizations, flair, etc. And it works for those games. So why can't it work for Battlefield? Well, I think it's time that Battlefield dropped the paid DLC map model and gave their games time to breathe in the long term. Look at BF4 as an example here. Eventually, DICE released 3 free maps for the game 2 to 3 years after release: the Zavod Graveyard Shift, Operation Outbreak and Dragon Valley. they also released free weapon packs and assignments to complete, and because of that, the game had a massive resurgence, and there was still roughly 100,000 users every day across all platforms playing it still 3 years after release. Those free maps and content really helped to inject life back into the game. And now look at BF1. 5 months after the release, the first DLC is just out for premium users, and there's forum posts, videos, tweets, people saying they're bored of the game already, there's not enough content, and they've stopped playing. But imagine instead that the They Shall Not Pass maps come out for free for everyone, and that's a big resurgence of players right there back to the game in an instant, and 4 new maps in the overall map pool that everyone can quick play and matchmake into forever. You're going to retain that player base and also bring people back that stopped playing the game, not just those that are fortunate enough to be able to afford a premium pass and then play the DLC for 2 weeks, log off again until the next one, because that's how it's going to be with BF1. It just baffles me. By no means is the game dead. You can look at a third-party stats website for BF1, bf1stats.com, and across all 3 platforms, today for example, it has nearly 263,000 people online currently on a Sunday. Is that a good number? I don't know. I think it's a good number, but the point is, it could be better, and I'm still having problems quick playing into matches. That's the reality of my BF1 experience on PC. And with each subsequent DLC map release, that number is going to dwindle significantly when it could be boosted so much more with regular free content drops and map packs. You can probably tell that I feel quite passionately about this. I love the Battlefield franchise, and I think that DICE are still going in the wrong direction with this and should be pushing harder for free DLC maps. If they did DLC maps for free, it's another draw as well for more players to buy the base game. Look at COD, let's face it, it's a direct rival in the games industry to Battlefield. They still have paid DLC map packs too, but the last game they released wasn't received very well. But what if, hey, suddenly all maps going forward for future Battlefield games are free? And that's a big green tick on the back of the box to get those players from the rival FPS to contemplate switching their main shooter game. Now, it's dead easy for me to sit here and say all of this, of course, that all Battlefield maps should be free. And it's still a no-brainer to me that it should be this way, for the sake of the game and the player base. But the reality is that building Battlefield maps costs time and money. Yeah, that's true. But DICE and EA have some of the smartest devs and marketing people working there. There's already a plethora of ways that they could monetize in other ways, and I'm sure that they could come up with so much more too. The potential is there to do this, it's just not being acted upon in my opinion. Is it too late for BF1 free main DLC map packs? Like, are we going to see In the Name of the Tsar for free? Well, they've already sold premium with the guise that it includes the maps in the value of it, so it's highly unlikely that DLC maps will be free for everyone until maybe right before the next Battlefield game comes out and they release them all for free just like they did with BF4. Unless they have some kind of radical turnaround and announce a complete rework of premium, unlikely, I think we'll see a couple more free map one-offs like Giant Shadow for example, and maybe a weapons pack along the line, but will that be enough to retain the player base and make sure that quick play always means quick play? What it comes down to is that I don't want to see the same mistakes happen again in future Battlefield titles, and I feel like I've done 10 other videos in the past discussing this same topic, but I really think that it's necessary. I'm going to keep banging on about it basically, and I think that as a community we should keep pushing for free DLC map packs in Battlefield games to improve the player base and extend the longevity of the game. You know, perhaps DICE and EA could test the water by meeting halfway and doing regular free weekends for DLC map packs, at least to populate the game across the board on weekends. Maybe that's a good start. Or what about this? Perhaps once a month give free access to DLC maps to everyone for a week and see how it affects the player numbers. I bet there would be a huge number of players coming back to the game to try out those new game modes and maps. And mentioning those new game modes too, Frontlines for example, I think overall across the board it's been received very well by the community. The only problem with it, of course, at the moment is that the timer never ends. I don't know if they've patched that recently, but that's how it was when it launched, and the games would just go on forever. Some people really like that, some people don't. I don't. I think Frontlines should be like a 20 to 30 minute game mode. But the point is that that new game mode is very well received, but it's only available on the new maps behind the premium paywall. So hey, if you've got some resources and time, why not get some people to port the Frontlines game mode over to all of the existing vanilla maps in the game already, and boom, there's a load of new content for free. There's several different ways to tackle this. I just think the matter of free DLC map packs is being pushed aside, and DICE and EA don't realise how much it's actually damaging the game, charging for all of that new content when its peers are not. So let me know what you think down below. Constructive comments are always better, of course. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.